Yo, what is going on YouTube? You know who it is, it's Complexity, and I am back with a little bit of Maphra, only this time we're not reacting to a video of hers, we're reacting to a video that somebody did of her. However, tomorrow I will be having Maphra's newest cover coming out in a review, so look forward to that. Check it out, okay? Subscribe if you want to watch it. But really quickly, I want to just turn around and say that when I first saw Maphra, when I first found Maphra, I started watching her videos and reacting to her videos and going through some of the older videos of hers. I did see that, you know, people were saying that, oh, this might be AI or she is AI and that she's not real, etc., etc. And as somebody who has actually been fooled by AI, I think all of us have at some point in time, especially when it comes to music. I didn't really want to get into the weeds about it. I didn't really want to make a video about it or anything, simply due to the fact that on one hand, I was like 99% sure she was a real human being. And on the 1% chance that she wasn't, it was really going to suck. But it was just one of those things where, you know, it kind of hit me with the Star Wars AI video that I did, link in the description down below. And it comes to the same question that I asked in that video, which was, is AI going too far? Like, is AI okay? Is AI something that it is going to be more helpful than, you know, more helpful than harmful? And I think that in certain areas it can be and it will be. However, I'm not so naive to think that it'll cause a massive issue with a lot of other things, especially when it comes to criminality and stuff of that nature. However, that is for a separate video, but I would like for you guys all to, you know, in the comments down below, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about AI in music. Let me know what you think about AI overall and what is, you know, what could potentially happen in the future with AI, both good and bad. And do you believe that the positives will outweigh the negative? I think all of us can agree that AI can be an incredibly useful tool if it's regulated properly, and if we are, you know, if we don't allow for there to be zero oversight of AI. I think if it's heavily regulated on what it can be used for, it'll eventually have more positive outcomes than negative outcomes. But let's get right into this video, you guys. I really wanted to check it out and see what was happening with it. But let's get right into this video, you guys.
2026, a fan hopped on Reddit saying they had doubts about whether an artist they discovered was AI or not. They said that they liked the artist, but they had some questions about the production, about the pitch correction, and just about how clean everything sounded. They couldn't fathom that someone who had this type of vocal range just pops up and appears out of nowhere, even to the point of hyper-analyzing facial reactions to try and determine if she was even a real person.
And see, this is going to be one of the bigger issues with AI in music, right? And not necessarily AI being utilized in real music. Like, I hope that never actually happens. But in coming artists, or just people making whimsical music, like, let's, you know, exclude that. But people who are truly trying to become artists, is that there's going to be a lot of question about up and coming artists on whether or not they are AI, they're using AI of some sort, something of that nature, especially when they are somebody who is as talented as Maphra.
And this just wasn't one person either. A ton of people took to Reddit to question Maphra's legitimacy, even causing an AI media expert to make a video on the topic. But this question was going to get answered just in a much bigger way than anyone expected. Before we get further into it, we have to start the moment that Maphra blew up and then ultimately everything changed. I'm sure you know that I'm talking about the Doomed cover, which went up in January,
which was amazing.
Bring Me the Horizon recorded the original 11 years ago. It's the opening track on That's the Spirit, and it was never released as a single, and it peaked at number 41 in 2015 on a different chart, and then mostly stopped being talked about until recently it came back into Bring Me's live set list following fan demand. Well, Maphra decided to randomly cover it and did it in one take. No band behind her, no label, and no promotion. Just a camera, a mic, the voice, a dark studio, and a song she clearly had a relationship with.
Yes, exactly. And that's something that I think that AI is going to have a much harder time doing that, like being able to make something that is connected emotionally with something. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's impossible, but I think that visually wise, right, it'll be much harder than audio. Like audio wise, it's going to be a lot easier because you're not seeing a person with it. Whereas if you do have like an AI person, you can see that there's a massive difference between facial expressions and reactions and the body tone and everything like that versus just in the audio. But watching Maphra's covers, it's like you can see she feels what she sings.
Don't come rain on my parade, 'cause I wanna feel it.
And the internet completely ate this cover up, and it went insanely viral. 7
was
million views on a
amazing.
single TikTok upload, and nearly 6 million views on Instagram. The craziest thing about the internet's reaction wasn't just people being impressed with it, it's just how many people shared the clips. Probably a big reason as to why it went insanely viral in the first place. Vocal coaches started breaking it down almost immediately. I mean, look no further than the internet's fave charismatic voice, who gave a glowing review of Maphra's cover.
It's so beautiful and full of emotion.
And that was the reaction of someone whose job it is to be analytical about voices, not a fan going viral, a professional getting caught off guard. Because if you're a Bring Me fan, you'll know the original Doomed is a special kind of song. Ollie sings it like someone trying to hold life together. It's probably one of the band's most emotional songs in a way that's hard to fake and even harder to copy. But
and that's one of the things that I say is that when you're a true artist and a song resonates with you, it is impossible to replicate and never possible to duplicate. You know, that it's like somebody else can sing it with emotion and passion, but it's never going to be the same as the person who wrote it, you know. And it's like even the same thing with Maphra, written or not written, but performed with passion and emotion and amazing talent. However, there is a staunch differences between hers and Ollie's performance, and you can tell that the song means something to the both of them. However, because of who they are, because of what they went through separately, the songs sound completely differently. You know, they have different tones, they have different vocalizations, they have different highs and lows. That, you know what I'm saying?
Maphra didn't copy it. She did something different, which means she had to earn the same emotion by a completely different route. And if the reactions of fans are anything to go by, I think it's safe to say she passed that test with fucking flying colors. And at the same time all of this was happening, a second conversation was running underneath it. A music production forum had a thread where someone noted there was a fair amount of post-production on the covers. They cited shit like selective pitch correction and timing corrections, and even floated the possibility of Maphra lip syncing the one take. Reddit was filled with threads titled Maphra Human or AI, and TikTok users were searching.
I think it's very difficult to prove a one take because it's kind of like how, you know what I'm saying? It's like, unless you're live streaming, or, you know what I'm saying, it would be very difficult to prove that you did it in one take. However, you can watch a video and see that you can see if there's cuts to it, but you can also take like the video and the audio track and make them completely different. And like what the guy is saying, like lip sync to the song, but then had a different track on like with the video, you know what I'm saying? So it's a little difficult unless you're like live streaming, but at the same time, I think that it's very difficult to go ahead and deny a person's talent in general when you can see it and hear it. And that's the other thing about that I was saying in the reactions is that, yeah, there might be certain corrections on it. There might be certain passes or filters on it or something of that nature. So we don't ever really know what a person sounds like until they sing live. However, obviously, Maphra proved that she's not AI and that she's really got that talent.
Maphra no auto-tune. And in fairness, I do get it. In a scene that has spent many years arguing about authenticity and gatekeeping and who counts as real, the question of whether a voice is real or not is not an unreasonable one. AI can generate pretty fucking convincing vocal performances from scratch now. The days of the Will Smith eating spaghetti videos are long gone. And personally, I don't think that that was malicious. I just think the scene was doing what it always does when something arrives without context. And Maphra gave the skeptics nothing to work with. She hadn't confirmed her name, hadn't confirmed where she was from. Portuguese language TikTok communities were claiming her as Brazilian, and then a separate music forum suggested South Carolina. Nobody had a definitive answer, and importantly, Maphra wasn't providing one. But what she did provide was this. When the Doomed cover came out, she wrote, "I've always found myself to be a very quiet person. I feel that I'm finally opening up to the world around me and embracing who I am by sharing my voice. It's not because you're hearing me sing, it's that you're connecting with me and feeling the emotion that I put into each and every lyric. I struggled with depression and my sense of purpose for so long. I can gladly say that I will be dedicating my life to my music career full time, and I will never stop." And
Absolutely. And that's awesome, man. That's amazing. And see, I even said it is like when you're listening to somebody who is authentic, you can hear it in their voice, like every single time. And I've said this is like, I mean, I don't know. I've said it pretty much in every reaction. Like, Maphra, girl, I don't know what you've been through, but I know you've been through something because of your music, because of the way your music sounds, because of the passion and the pain, the love, the hate, the everything that you put into your vocal, the way you put it into your vocal range, into the highs and the lows, the sound, all of it. And that's something that is very hard to fabricate, right? And it's one of the reasons why when certain people come into the music scene, a lot of people pay them no mind. Even though the song might be very good, there is that, like, for lack of better words, upper echelon of like the music world that denies them, that denies the person, because they can hear that it's not really who they are, you know, especially when it comes to like drill music and stuff of that nature, and very like, yeah, well, let's just go with drill music. There's a lot of artists who come out with drill music and, you know, they're talking about killing this, shooting that, selling this, doing this. And there's a good amount of people within that community or within that music community genre that pays them no mind or doesn't care or doesn't believe them, right? And so when it comes to other areas such as like rock or this or that, you can really hear when somebody's just a guest in that genre versus somebody who belongs in that genre. You know what I'm saying? If you've ever been a music fan and you listen to a multitude of different genres, I mean, hell, let's even take country music. Country music used to be very backwoodsy, and now country music is super popular because of country pop, you know? And so you can hear just people who are guests and people who belong. And I don't want to say belong as in like, because I believe that music is for everybody, but what I more so mean is people who are authentic in their sound, and then people who found that they fit in this category, if that makes sense.
And that entire read changes everything, because suddenly the anonymity is not a brand strategy. It's not like it's a sleep token mythology play. It's someone who has spent a long time not being heard, not taking up space, and not letting anyone in. The covers are not a career move. They are the first time she shared herself with the world through songs that she already had a relationship with, and songs that meant something before she was anybody. While researching Maphra's insane rise in history, there was something that seemed incredibly intentional with the song covers, and that was the song choices themselves. Maphra did not cover obscure deep cuts to try and impress scene insiders. She covered Doomed, Circle With Me, The Emptiness Machine, Impose, The Plotting You Silence. Those aren't random picks. They are the songs the metalcore audience has been arguing about, crying to, and sharing for years. She's not just demonstrating range for its own sake. She is covering the songs that already meant something. The songs that, if you grew up in the scene, you already have a relationship to. That is how she got into those comment sections. Not because the algorithm pushed her there, because people already had feelings about those songs, and she gave them a new way to feel them, which is...
I mean, she went from being somebody who listens to the song and feels it to singing that song and having others feel it. And that's essentially what I said. That's essentially what I believe. It's what I still believe. And she killed it. She's killed it. She's continuing to kill it. And I'm pretty sure with the video that I'm going to be, with her newest cover that I'm going to be reacting to, she killed the shit out of that one too.
It's a pretty clever strategy when you actually think about it. Fast forward to March 2026, and the woman who had spent so long in the shadows, being completely unheard, suddenly gets thrown into the spotlight. The Doomed cover claims #1 on the Hot Hard Rock songs. And just take a minute to see who she's sitting above. Motionless in White, Sleep Token, Bad Omens. Every single one of them is a band whose audience found her first, whose song she covered, whose world she entered through the side door with no invitation and no introduction. Somehow, she was now above all of them on the same chart. And the original Doomed got the bounce too. Bring Me's version went from 255k streams the week before the cover dropped to 460k streams the following week. The song
And the reason for it, like the big, massive, interest around it is because these were already established. Like Bring Me the Horizon was already an established band by the time they put Doomed out. Were they the biggest band in their genre at that time? From what I remember, they were like one of the top bands, right, in that type of music, that type of genre at that time. But she was just a random person who was getting her flowers from her fans and everything, but then she drops Doomed, one of the songs that like sends shockwaves through that scene genre, the scene kids. Like, I mean, hell, even I was saying when I was listening to it, I'm like, man, this brings me back to the high school, man. That was 10 plus years ago. You know what I'm saying? Reminding me of walking through the halls of my high school and the lockers and gym class and listening to the song while I'm in class, and instead of listening to the teacher type of deal, bringing up all those old memories. And that's why it's impressive, because it's like it brings you back to that time, and it's a person who has no backing. It's just somebody doing it for the love of the game, putting it out there for the rest of the world to enjoy.
song hadn't been a single in 2015 and was suddenly being rediscovered by people who found it through a cover, bringing over a whole new audience to want to bring his classics. But for the scene, as always seems to be the fucking case, the fans were split. Arguments about covers not mattering, about internet artists not being real, and how you need a band and a tour history and a proper release cycle to be taken seriously.
That's more so. That's not a fan thing. Like, I mean, yes, it is a fan thing, but that's more so like the only time that actually really matters is if you're like looking to be signed. Like 100%. If you're currently an artist right now, don't listen to anybody who tells you like, oh, you need to tour, you need to do this, you need to do that. And none of that actually matters, because the only two things that'll get you, right, having an album, having records, having tours, having anything, the only thing that'll get you is recognition from labels. Outside of the only thing it matters for would be recognition of labels. If you're talking about your career path and everything, right? Yes, it helps because you're going and playing venues, whether small, medium, or large. You're getting people out there to come out. You're doing all of this. But at the end of the day, outside of you being an artist, outside of you touring or doing small things or going and playing venues for your fans, outside of you creating your stamp in the genre, in the music world, all that really does is make labels look at you, right? It doesn't mean that you're not an artist just because you have never played a stadium. It doesn't mean you're not an artist because you've never toured or something. You can still be a musician. You can still be an artist. Doesn't matter if you got your start on TikTok, on YouTube, on fucking SoundCloud, whatever. You're a fucking artist. And you're making music. Maybe it's not the best in the world. Maybe it is the best in the world. But at the end of the day, you're still a fucking artist. And any person who turns around and tells you that you're not a real artist until you've done this, or until you've done that, or until you've done this, probably have never made a song in their entire fucking life. So like, I'm sorry, but what the fuck would they know? It's insane. And everybody, and even like this right here, right? Like this is me listening to my friend explain why Maphra's cover of Doomed is way better than the original. It's totally okay to have the opinion that it's not. And it's totally okay to have the opinion that it is. The only time it's in controversy is why is it, right? If somebody turns around and tells you, well, I feel like it is because it resonates with me more, at the end of the day, you gotta just be like, all right, fuck it. Like that's how you feel. I think that the whole, gatekeeping is good in the sense that you want authenticity to be what thrives in your world, right? You want that to be what thrives in your world. I also, however, think that sometimes people can get way too gatekeepy when it comes to everything, right? There's some people who are like absolutists and purists and shit, and they make it worse for everybody, you know. And there's certain fandoms, especially like anime fandoms, that can just kill a production because of how they are to just regular everyday people.
Those arguments were running at the same time as the chart data, and the chart data did not give a single shit about any of that. And for the doubters and haters, the ones that claim that Maphra was an AI fake, they were about to be silenced real quick. May 7th, welcome to Rockville, Daytona Beach, Florida. Ice Nine Kills are on stage. Spencer Charnas is doing what Spencer Charnas does. The spooky spectacle is fully on show. And then Maphra walks on stage. This is her first live performance, not her first big live performance. Her first live performance, full stop. No warm-up gig, no small club show just to get over the nerves. She goes straight from a studio.
And that's one thing that I did also point out in the Doom's live performance, that you can tell that she was very shy, very uncomfortable, but once she started singing and like kind of left the realm of the world around her, she blew up and she started singing more passionately. She got into her groove, and it's incredible to think about that. Like, you go from your studio or your home or whatever it is that you're singing to in front of hundreds, if not thousands, of live fans, and it's a completely different world from performing on an album or on a single to performing in front of people. And the weight that, I mean, the sheer weight that it puts on established artists who have been doing it for decades. You know, she had to compete with that, and it's insane, and she did an amazing job.
Studio cover to a major rock festival, performing a track from the Scream 7 soundtrack with one of metalcore's most theatrical live acts, in front of a crowd that has been following her for months but never seen her move. And the question the Redditors were asking in February, the careful, technically precise question about whether any of this was real or if she was even real herself, got answered in front of thousands of people, without a statement, without a press release, without Maphra saying a word about it. And Maphra wasn't done. In fact, she was just getting started, as her next live performance took it to the next level. May 16th, Sonic Temple, Columbus, Ohio. Bring Me the Horizon are headlining, and Maphra comes on stage. She sings Doomed with Oliver Sykes. That same song that she posted from a dark studio in January. The same song that was 11 years old and mostly forgotten. The song that started...
I don't know about mostly forgotten. I don't know about that. Maybe to the greater world audience. Maybe to the greater world audience, but definitely not to anybody who loves the band and loves the scene.
All of this. She performs it with the band who wrote it, in front of a crowd that knows every word, on a stage that belongs to the people she covered. I mean, just imagine having to perform the cover in front of not only the band who wrote it, but probably the people that the source material matters the most to, the fans. And in fairness, she more than held her own. It didn't feel like a content creator hopping on stage because the band did them a favor. It felt like a performance between two vocalists who both understand the weight of the song. The incredible performance took her from being an internet sensation to a legit force in the metal scene overnight, gained her a shit ton of new fans, and grew her stardom to new highs. All of this, and she still hasn't even confirmed her name. Nobody has established where she is from. 3 different answers are floating around online, and Maphra hasn't endorsed any of them. But what she has said is that she's working on original music. Those covers were just a proof of concept, a way of finally getting her voice heard. Whatever comes next is what she's been pointing all of this toward. And while we're waiting for Maphra's next move, Bring Me the Horizon has clearly had a huge impact on her, so do yourself a favor and check out this video where I break down the band's entire history.
Awesome. See, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for if she was ever going to do original music. Now, of course, right, of course, you would imagine that an artist who is coming up and doing covers and all that will eventually turn around and do original music. But the fact that she's confirmed that she is doing original music, I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. This is awesome. Like, I'm very happy for her. I'm happy that she's getting her flowers. I'm happy that the rumors were put to bed about her being AI or about her not being real. And again, like I said, it's good to do some gatekeeping, and I understand why. but we also need to be sure to not gatekeep to the nth degree to where we could potentially, you know, where as fans, we could potentially run somebody out of the scene that is literally only there to improve the scene or to be a part of it because they are a part of it, they love it, etc., etc. But guys, I don't know, you know, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you could, you know, leave a comment down below. What do you think about all of this? What do you think about AI and its use right now? Like, do you agree that AI can be good, but it just needs to have strict regulations on what it could be used for? Do you guys believe that regardless of the good that AI can cause, it shouldn't be allowed? Like it's something that needs to be kept in a very, very small box. Like, what is it that you guys believe? Especially if you're a fan of the music industry like I am, and you are a fan of amazing, authentic artists, like, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. I have been Complexity. If you guys want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, as always, I will catch you all later.